Close your eyes and imagine. It's the year 323 BC. The greatest conqueror in human history, Alexander of Macedon, the man they call Alexander the Great, has just returned from a campaign that stretched from Greece to India. He stands young, brilliant, and undefeated. But history tells us that at just 32 years old, in Babylon, Alexander suddenly fell ill and died. Yet ask yourself, what if he hadn't? What if Alexander the Great lived decades longer? What if the man who never lost a battle, never stopped fighting? Would Rome have ever risen? Would Christianity and Islam ever emerge the way we know them? Could one man have united Europe, Africa, and Asia into a single empire and changed the destiny of the world forever? This is the story of the world that might have been. Alexander's real story is already unbelievable. By his early 30s, he had conquered the Persian Empire, marched his armies through Egypt, and pushed all the way into India. His soldiers called him invincible. His enemies called him a god. But then, in June 323 BC, just as he planned new invasions into Arabia and beyond, Alexander died suddenly in Babylon. The greatest empire in the world collapsed almost overnight, split apart by its generals. His dream of a one united world died with him. That was our history. But let's imagine a different one. In this alternate timeline, Alexander survives. He doesn't fall ill. He doesn't die in Babylon. Instead, he lives another 20, even 30 years. The first thing he does: invade Arabia. With its vast trade routes, Alexander controls the entire Middle East. Next, he sets his sights westward: Rome. At this time, Rome is still just a rising republic, not yet the mighty empire we know. Against Alexander's disciplined veterans, Rome would have been crushed. Imagine the Colosseum never being built, Roman legions never becoming legend, because Rome itself would never rise. And then eastward. Alexander's ambition was endless. Many historians believe he would have tried to reach China. Think about it. Greek philosophy meeting Chinese science 2,000 years earlier than in our timeline. The fusion of East and West long before globalization. By 300 BC, Alexander could rule from Spain to the Pacific, from Egypt to India. A single empire spanning 3 continents. Instead of competing empires, the world is united under one ruler. Civil wars between his generals never happen. Rome never dominates. The balance of power centers entirely on Alexander's dynasty. The concept of nation-states might never exist, just one empire, one crown. Greek culture already spread through Alexander's conquests, but imagine it blending deeply with Indian philosophy, Persian mathematics, and Chinese inventions. Paper, gunpowder, and astronomy, all shared centuries earlier. Human progress could leap forward 1,000 years. The so-called Dark Ages might never have happened. Here's the most fascinating part. Christianity rose in the Roman world. Islam later rose from Arabia. But in Alexander's mega empire, with Greek gods worshipped as supreme and Alexander himself seen as divine, would these religions even emerge the same way? Or would one universal religion, centered on Alexander, dominate the world? Billions today might follow a completely different faith. The Silk Road would no longer be a distant dream. It would be a paved highway of commerce. Goods, knowledge, and technology would move across continents at lightning speed. Imagine ancient Greeks using Chinese compasses, or Indians building machines with Greek engineering, centuries before it happened in our timeline. Now bring it closer to you. Imagine yourself living in Alexander's world. Your city is connected by wide roads stretching thousands of miles. You pay taxes not to your local king or senate, but to the great king of the world. Alexander's dynasty. You speak a mixture of Greek and local languages because his empire enforces one unified tongue. Your education? Taught not just by Greek philosophers, but by teachers from India, Persia, and China. Medicine and science are centuries ahead. Diseases that plagued our world for millennia could be treated far earlier. But there's a dark side too. One empire means one ruler. If Alexander, or his descendants, turns into a tyrant, there's no escape. Rebellion is crushed instantly by the greatest army ever assembled. Freedom as we know it might never exist. Democracy might die before it even begins. Wars that shaped our history, Rome versus Carthage, Crusades, Mongol invasions, they might never have happened. Instead, the greatest battles are fought not between nations, but between rival heirs of Alexander's bloodline. Imagine global civil wars fought with ancient superarmies across 3 continents. And technology. If human progress accelerates under this empire, perhaps industrial machines, gunpowder weapons, and even early electricity emerge thousands of years sooner. We might already be living in space by now. So, what if Alexander the Great had lived longer? The world we know today, our nations, our religions, our languages, might not even exist. Instead, one man's dream of unity could have reshaped everything. It could have created a golden age of knowledge, or a nightmare of tyranny under a single empire. And here's the haunting question. Would the world united under Alexander the Great have been humanity's greatest blessing, or its greatest curse? History leaves us only with possibilities. But one thing is certain. The early death of Alexander didn't just end his life. It ended the chance for a world that might have been utterly unrecognizable to us today.